Congratulations, Melbourne. You've got a new sports stadium, Amy Park. Not to be confused with Amy Stadium, that's in Adelaide. It's sort of like the Grand Prix. We saw Adelaide had something, we liked it, we stole it, but we put it in a park. It's the only way you could improve it. And so we've launched it. If you don't know which one I'm talking about, it's the one down in the Jollymont in the sporting precinct. It looks like it's been made out of giant golf balls, which is kind of appropriate because it cost something like $276 million, which is almost what we paid Tiger Woods to pass through last year for his 2-day stopover. So, of course, that's before we realised we could have just thrown a couple of $1,000s at some kind of convention for slappers and he would have been all over that shit. But anyway, so we've got the stadium now. The big deal, of course, is that it's rectangular. This is our rectangular ground, so we can play rectangular sports like rugby and soccer, that sort of thing. And we needed a rectangular ground. I went to see a soccer match at the MCG. Someone was awarded a corner. The game was called off after 10 hours of fruitless searching. We can play that now, so it's been designed with that in mind. You can tell it's been designed with rugby league in mind. There's no toilets, you just shit in the corridor. So they opened it up on Friday night. There was a big match. Australia beat New Zealand, and that was very exciting. Bad news if you're a Melbourne Storm fan. The captain, Cameron Smith, he's broken he's injured his arm very badly. It's going to make it very hard for him to write 2 contracts. But look, my real problem with this stadium is that it's just the latest example of public facilities being named after their corporate sponsors. They're everywhere now. Amy Park, Etihad Stadium, and Bob James Stadium. I'm not sure if I'm being a sports fan or am I shopping in Chadstone anymore. It's just I'm surrounded by brand names. I don't know where anything's on at anymore. People keep telling me stadiums I've never heard of. Someone told me a game was on at Westpac Centre. I ended up at the bank. I don't know where anything's at. Then I finally get it through my head, and then it changes. There I am spending a day looking for Colonial Stadium. No one told me Telstra had crept in overnight and magically converted it into a dome. I couldn't find it. And no one seemed to care about this. No one seemed to care it was Colonial Stadium, that was Telstra Dome. And yet, strangely, the moment it became Etihad Stadium, I had lots of fellow travellers then. Oh, you can't name a footy stadium after an Arabic company? Oh, come on, mate. It's not like they want to pick it up and turn it around a bit so the locket end is facing Mecca. It's like, I can't even pronounce it. What? You can't? It's fairly simple. No one's asking you to pronounce it in Arabic. Sure, some of us can. Ittihad. Not even that hard, but you can pronounce it in English. That's fine. What? You're still struggling? Okay, ask yourself this. Out of all the hosts of the footy show, who had the highest ratings? Etihad. Yes, correct. Now we're away. We're speaking Arabic and we can go to the footy. So yeah, we've got this stadium now. I'm just sick of these sports stadiums with names I don't quite understand. It's bad enough when I don't even know where the ground is. These days I haven't even heard of half the companies. My friend says to me, we're going to MC Labour Park. I'm like, first of all, that sentence made no sense in English. Secondly, I still don't know where we're going. Thirdly, what the hell is MC Labour? That sounds like an idea that some political hack would come up with in the middle of a cocaine binge in the late 80s to try and help Paul Keating connect with the youth vote. Hey, I'm MC Labour. John Hewson can't touch this. I don't like it because... See, it's like when you use these companies' names, you're just doing advertising for them every time you mention the name of the stadium. You know, I get all ABC Newsreader on this sort of thing. I try not to name sporting venues corporate sponsors at all. I just think it's time for the people to take back their venues. You know, I use all the old names actually. It's Docklands Stadium or it's Princes Park because, you know, first of all, now we all know where we're going. Secondly, I can't even remember who's bloody sponsoring that place anymore. It changes every year. That's what I do. And I'm sorry if you're from out of town, you're missing all the local references. I'm sorry about that. I hope it doesn't impinge upon your stay with us here in Bearbrass. So that's it really does beg the question, what am I going to do about this new stadium? Because it's pretty much been corporate right from the start. You know, it's Amy Stadium. Look, there's a few options we have for naming this. I suppose we could call it the Rectangular Stadium, but it sounds a bit mathematical. It also is going to lend itself far too easily to the Rectal Stadium. And, homophobic jokes about rugby scrums is just not going to work. Look, I'm in favour of naming a stadium after people. I don't know exactly when Rod Laver married Tina Arena and became Rod Laver Arena, but if we want to mark this beautiful coming together of two great Australians by naming a stadium after, that's great. But I don't really like that. What I would like to do is, and I'm quite serious about this, try and help me spread this throughout the town. I want to call it the Teacup. Because then all the Melbourne Storm fans can go and watch the Storm in the Teacup. And, is that just the greatest name for a stadium ever? Yeah, I think so. Let's spread it, my friends. Let's get the word out there. And look, the important thing is we just can't call it Amy Stadium, okay? Because, well, we just can't give them the satisfaction. The best thing is if we all collectively came up with a name that we could call it that's not the one they want us to do, because Amy claims to have paid for the naming rights and to be able to have the right to name this stadium that we own. But no, see, if we don't call it Amy Stadium, we call it something else, then finally an insurance company will know what it's like to shell out heaps of money and then have a claim rejected. So that'll be good. That's all I had to say tonight. Thank you very much.